Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
Hey, all right.
Well, you got it all figured out this morning.
I was practicing with Christine and Eva yesterday afternoon, so maybe things will go a little smoother for me. One can only hope. Okay, Euro British. Was it Euro British? I'm not sure if I looked at that one or not. Looks like no trade there. It's already to the red zone. It's up arrow. We do have. I'm not sure what the direction of this one is. It's probably going to be pretty much equal, 3 up, 3 down. So it's in a zone. We need to have 50 pips inside the zone. And so here's the bottom of the zone. Here's the top of the zone. And we have, that's 86.43 and 86, not even 50 pips inside these zones. So that's a no-go on all kinds of reasons. CAD yen. Take a look at that one. Now this one, we're in an uptrend with a down arrow, and that alone tells us it's contra trend. We're not even to the contra trend zone yet. And this is going to be at 8 o'clock. So remember, we got the non-farm payroll report after this yellow line. The entry on this one to the downside is at the opening of the next candle after the alert. It's going to be right here. So it says to take it short. But as you see, from 85.26 to 85.05, actually there's 21 pips there, but it's in the wrong direction. So this is a up arrow. And let's see, that's good. We'll just look at the ones that we had, the most recent alerts we had. Here's a US 500, so that's the NASDAQ. We can take a look at that one real quick, see what Eva loves, this NASDAQ and US Tech. That's one of her favorite pairs.
Yep. Al, you sure you don't want Eva to take it?
Yeah, Eva, do you want to take this one? Well, it's in the red.
I'm good today.
Now the question is, which direction is this? It's still in a down direction. We have an up arrow, so there again, this is contra trend. And right now we make sure we're on a 5-minute chart for these, and we are. And we'll go ahead and I'll load up look this up with the template that I made earlier. So we have a more current template open. Here's the money zone over here off to the left. Here's the money zone. Here's the contra trend zone. And we don't have, let's see, 37.71. We'll put that on. Oh, shoot, I don't want to do it. What just happened? Okay, I just found something up there. Didn't mean to do that. It was just put an order in, pending order, but
I did that accidentally before, Al.
I've never done that before. I've never had that happen before.
Yeah, it was like either you double click or triple click or something weird. And I looked at it. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna delete this order quick time.
I never had that happen to me.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened exactly, but I know that I was clicking on my chart on the MT4, and all of a sudden I had a pending order open.
But it's interesting. We used to have that in the airplanes where we put something in the computers and we go, "Why'd you do that?" And we go, "I don't know, but I've seen it before." And they'll do it again. All right, let's see. Let's go back to this open trade. So we're going to left click on that, and we just put a target, some range in for where our price is. 37.76. 37.76 as opposed to 12,800 and whatever we had just tried to do yesterday, which gave people a nice little chuckle out of that, as I couldn't hear anybody.
CB didn't though. He didn't laugh.
Yeah,
I was getting my coffee.
He came back. Everybody was on the gut wrenching laughter on the floor as I'm sitting there trying to get the price in there.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Okay.
I'm saying, why
So-
aren't any of my friends helping me?
Oh yes, it's gotta have fun. And let's see. And let's take a look at the Euro Swiss. I should take a look at Euro Aussie, see what that thing's doing. That's been my problem child for the week. And right now it's had an up arrow. Looks like it still has a little bit of push to the upside. Let's take a look at the heat map while we're waiting for a trade. And we're going to go over to the, and let me guess, that's not the right one. How about now? Do you see our heat map here? Tell me yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
good. You can see right now the strongest currency of the group is the Swiss. That's the strongest. The Aussie is the weakest, and the CAD is weakest on 2 of the 3 of the 4. And it looks like the New Zealand Aussie on the higher time frames, and then the Aussie CAD. So with that, when that report comes out, you may want to be careful with the US. The US is so kind of on the lower time frames, the 5-minute and the 15. It's on the kind of in the middle of the pack right now. But right now, if we get a lower alert, we're looking for the strength of the Swiss or strength of the yen. If we get a Swiss or yen pair to come up.
Got 2 quick questions here, Al.
Yes.
What settings are we using for gearbox? Well, we're not going to go into our settings for gearbox because in this call, we primarily focus on the manual trading aspect of Auvoria Prime's offerings. So either Arrow or Aris is what we used to do. So when it comes to gearbox settings, I would refer you to the calls that Tyler has every week. He goes over extensively exactly what settings he's using on what accounts. He has multiple accounts, and he'd be the best one to guide you in that aspect. And the second question, real quick, is that we basically use Arrow here for our entries and our exits to determine our trading. So this is more of a manual trading and not so much a call around the expert advisors aspect of Auvoria Prime.
Well said, Matt. Well said. And the other thing is if you do have any questions or comments, please put them in the question answer box. I've got Eva and Matt and Christine and CV there helping me monitor those. And so if you put them in the chat box, we're more than likely not going to see them. And either we don't want to answer them, but put them in the question answer box. That way we can keep a little bit better tab on how we're doing with that. So any other questions while we're waiting around here? Let's take a look at British Aussie. It's a British Aussie alert that was earlier. And let's see, that's range bound. I don't think we have a lot of room to either side of this. Certainly not 20 pips to the downside. Oh, we had 16. Sometimes these charts can be deceiving. You have a lot more room in between than you think you do. But still, let's see, this was quite a while ago. Here's actually the entry. And actually, just because it's quite a ways past doesn't mean it's not going to work. A lot of times it'll take time to get set up. You get the arrow. Here was the entry to go short. It did pull back a little bit, so it would actually get you a little better entry if the direction still would hold. Let's see, just playing this one out here a little bit and see what we have. Okay, this isn't going to be a great trade at this point in time. 97 to 87. It's only 10 pips from where the entry was, where the alert was. So that was a no trade there. Let's see what kind of direction we have on our chart. We have, looks like it's in an uptrend with a down arrow. Actually, I made a few we had an up arrow here. This was yesterday. And that arrow made a new zone up higher. And you can see that it is trending up. It's going up even stronger. So you don't want to be taking contra trend trades if you can at all avoid it. Even during that contra trend zone that we were talking about. Let me put my other template up, load it up. And so here's the, now one thing I like to do, again, a lot of things I like to walk, especially while we're waiting around for trades to come in. We'll move this out of the way. We have, this was a new day where the dotted line is. This is where, and this is the Forex overnight high. And so I'll try and get my lines in here. 1.80-ish. And we'll go put another one up here at 1.80.
Johnson's saying that he's looking at the TradingView heat map, and it appears that the dollar is strong against everything but the Swiss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
1.0, let's see, 80, point, let's call it 79, 80. I got a couple lines on my chart, and I'm going to put one of these at the, here's where the money zone is, right here with the vertical blue line. And I'm going to move this one, and since it's in a uptrend, I'll be looking for moves to the upside. So I'm going to put my blue line to the top bar of the overnight high, which is right here. This is the top. This is the candle body of the highest candle over the overnight session before the money zone. And then I'm going to put my, where's my other one up here? No, I'll just use this one. And so here's the body, here's the overnight, and here's the lowest candle before the money zone. It's right here. And you can see we didn't get a break. We did get a break to the upside, but you're right inside these zones. So even with that overnight, you still wouldn't have been able to really get a trade off of that, off of this technique, because you're right up into the zone. And so there's really not much room there. Let's take a look at the British CAD, see if there's anything here. Again, I'll do is start going through these pairs. And one thing I need to do is check to make sure that all my time frames are on the right time frame. So again, one of those things I have to put it into my scan and my to-do list, my morning routine, is check and make sure all these are on 15-minute that are supposed to be on 15-minute. That's all good. There was one here I saw that wasn't, I thought. Aussie US, I thought I saw one there. I'll move that to a 15-minute chart. Because remember, if you don't have it on the 15-minute time frame, you'll get the arrow alerts, but you're going to get it on whatever time frame you have your chart set to. So keep that in mind. And then your tech stocks, your S&P, and your gold are all on 5-minute. We just got one for the US tech. And that's basically the NASDAQ. And so we're going to see that's at 12,486. Pull up a template. And let's find the price. Objects. $12,486. And let's see. And I'll put a target in. I'll just put it randomly 12,465. And we don't really need to worry about our stop right now because it's not a trade. We'll scan and see which direction we're going in. We're in a downtrend with an up arrow. And so I just grabbed the bottom of this where these date and timestamps are. I just grabbed it, left clicked, and just slid it, and that's what brought those up a lot quicker than trying to tap through.
Well, that's easier.
Yeah, it's a little bit faster.
That's good, Al. I like that.
I
I'm
found that
gonna
one
keep
out.
that in my head.
Yeah, and whatever pattern you have when you save your template, it'll bring it back to that pattern. So if you have it real tight and you just make the template, it'll do the same thing there too. So, but anyway, we can see we were in an uptrend. So we're going to actually we're in a downtrend, I believe is what we were. We were a downtrend. It's up
I'm
down
not sure
here.
if NASDAQ knows what it wants to do at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely a downtrend. So yeah, it's range bound basically. The range keeps varying every day. It seems varying. So it's a real crapshoot of which way to. You're getting lower highs and higher lows or higher highs but it's still inside a range. And let's see, that was that one. Let's see, that's the NASDAQ. So actually there's no trade there. And you'll find out that most of the time you get these alerts, there isn't a trade, but it does alert you to the good ones sometimes. No trade here, it's too close to the green zone. We're going to put a template on, just while we're here, might as well put the template in. And it marks the money zone, marks the reversal zone. And start getting some charts, some objects on. You don't have to do them all, just at least get one of them on so you can mark and now we're at let's see, 149.77. Click OK, and it should pop up there close by. Yep. And I'll put a target in. That'd be 149. Call it 97. Here's our overnight high of the overnight. Mark that one. You can probably count where the candle that entered into these. You probably count that candle just like you count the actual candle of the break of the day break. And there's the low, here's the high, here's the range in the zone. And we're looking at what kind of direction do we have? Slide that over. More green than red. So we're in an uptrend. Slide this back. And get my arrow. And that's all we do about that one. Any questions while we're waiting around?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
On the CAD Swiss, has an M formed on the H1, and it's a good short for arrow. If an arrow signal pops up on the H1.
CAD Swiss H1.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say, let's see what the direction is, or do we have direction? Looks to me like we have more red than green. So it looks like we're in a downtrend. It would be a contra trend trade at that point if we did.
I think that, hey, Al, I think it's CAD Swiss, right, Kristen?
Yes, it is. Thanks, CB.
Okay,
You're looking
all right.
You're looking at
That would
Swiss.
help.
CAD yen.
Okay, let's take a on there. Okay, let's CAD Swiss we're talking about. CAD Swiss. Oh, okay. And this is then put on 1 hour. And we are in an uptrend. Looks like. We put an arrow in there. Uptrend. Let me go put my template up. On an hourly chart. Templates. Load. There we go. So we'll slide this in. We need an up arrow. This may be a good one for me to ask the person to ask the question, what do they think? Before I give them my opinion. And everybody start using your brain cells a little bit. We'll see how close you came to what I would have said. What does it look like to you if you were on, if you had a alert on this, and let's say it was a down arrow, which is pretty much what we'd be looking at, would you take this trade on a 1 hour chart? Let's take a poll. Let's see if we can take a poll on this.
I would say, it's obviously getting close to the counter trend time there, but it would be a counter trend trade, and it's running pretty close into that support. So even in a non NFP day, I probably would pass on it right now.
Okay, and I think I just lost my charts because I was playing around with the poll on this thing. They'll teach me to do that. Okay. Are you still see my charts? You still see my charts?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay, the person that asked the question says, if it breaks the support zone, then I take it.
Yep.
Breaks this, you would take it?
Yes.
Okay. Because there would, let's see, on the hourly chart. Now with an hourly chart, remember we have our different range. We have 50 pips and 100 pips. So off the hourly charts is our range target, not the 40-20. So let's say we just got an arrow right here, which we do not, but we do. If we did, you'd have 20 pips to the downside. And you said if it broke this zone, you would take it. What about this? Would you be concerned about this little part right here?
Well,
Because I certainly would be. I would be real. I would expect a bounce off of that. Now, would there be room to take some and make a few pips on that? I think so. If you were to wait till it broke this zone. Now let's take a look and see if there's a zone. Let me put some lines on here. This is a good little exercise for us to do while we're waiting around. We're on an hourly chart. Let's take a look and see what it looks like on a 15. Let me put some lines in here. It looks like 72.61 would be one of them.
and just in generality, would you do it even on a non-fund payroll, as CB said?
That's a very, very good question to make sure that we keep that in mind. On non-farm payroll day, and this being a Swiss, well, I would probably still hesitate just because I just don't like trading over that report. I really don't. I have made some money on doing it, but I've also seen the reactions of the volatility at that time that it's the only way I would even consider doing a trade on that report would be to find out where the target zones would be and only put like a sell order or a buy order limit in those directions. So like, for example, if let's say the price was right here, I would be looking at I would find out what zone I was looking at. So like here's a zone up here. I would be looking at, I would have in fact, maybe we should try to do this. Just what time is it now? Do we have time to do this? Yeah, we do. Okay.
Yeah, we got 7:55. We're good.
Let's do a little practice. I'm on a demo account, so I do not encourage anybody to do this, but we're going to kind of watch this. It's kind of fun to watch the results of the non-farm payroll. I said I'm in a demo account, so it's not going to hurt anything for me here. But let's just say that if I were to try to trade this, I would be looking at having a buy down here, and I would be looking at some objects. And we're going to put this at 73.49-ish, 0.7349. Okay, so here's this is the range that we're looking at. If for the non-farm payroll, and I would maybe do this, is I would put it like maybe right about in here. And I would have a sell order. So I'd have a pending sell order and a pending buy order. If the report comes in, it drives the price down, gets me in, and I'd have my target being right about the mid-range. So let's just try and set that up. So here's a trade, new order. And this is going to be pending. And it's going to be a buy limit. So that's going to be down here. And we're going to say at a buy limit of $72.56.7256. And my stop would be, let's give it 40 pips, 72.50, 72.16. And my target would be right about at the blue line, so 73.05. Take profit. 0.7305. We have our stop, we have our target, we have our buy entry, and we're going to place the order. Okay, so if it comes in, gets me in here, takes me out here, and this is basically all during the report. If it doesn't happen during the report, then we just take the trade off and call it a day. And we'll put one more up here for the sell order. And so we're going to take a trade, open new order. You had a question, Matt?
No, I was going to just say Julian says that he'd take it, start of a new double M move to the downside.
Okay.
Money management, market maker.
Yeah.
Pending order. And we're going to be looking at a sell limit. Sell limit, and we're going to be selling at a price of 73.48.7348. And our stop would be, I'll give it 40 pips, 73.88. And our take profit will be the same take profit area that we were looking at with the other one. And we're going to go to right about where the blue line is, and that would be, we'll say, I'll call it 73.05. 0.7305. We have our price, we have our stop, we have our take profit, place the order. And so right now we have two pending orders waiting for the non-farm payroll report to come out. If it comes down here, we're in. If it goes up here, we're in. And expecting it to come back down. If we get in, we'll revert back to the middle. We'll see what happens.
We have another question kind of related to non-farm payroll.
Okay.
That do you think that the non-farm payroll that you would see a move in the pair, the US CAD.
Yes, I would. Yeah, in fact, I would expect it to be more for the U.S. pairs than even this one, to be quite honest with you. I think the CAD, I think it's mostly geared to the U.S. This pair may not have quite the volatility that the U.S. CAD might have. I think the U.S. CAD would probably have a fair amount of volatility to it.
Yeah, generally it does, Al, and I think you're totally right. But the one thing with non-farm payroll is because the U.S. is such a central figure in this whole forex game. It's really important to note that because it's non-farm payroll for the U.S., it can move the pound pairs like no one's business, and it can, like I've seen 100 pip 1 minute candle on the pound pairs because of non-farm payroll.
Yeah.
And I was caught on the other side of it too, by the way. That happened once and it will never happen again.
Yeah, you don't realize how strong that move is. I don't know how much of it's already factored in at this point in time, in this day and age that we're living in right now.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen quite the volatility as I have seen in the past, but I have seen some spikes, and it would just spike. I've seen it where, just to give you some idea, I've seen it. This is even a couple of years ago when I was looking at this, and the non-farm payroll would come out, and you wouldn't be in a trade. You see it break out, and you see it go up to a supply zone or down to a demand zone, and you do a market entry to get into the trade. And I've seen it take as much as a minute and a half before that got filled. And by that time, when you put in a market entry, it gives you whatever price comes up when your number comes up in the queue. So if there's 1,000 trades ahead of you, it's got to get through all those 1,000 trades at no matter what price it is, and then you get filled. And sometimes it works to your advantage, sometimes it doesn't. But it's really kind of unnerving when you have a trade in and you want it to fill and you can't get it filled. You're waiting and waiting and you can't do anything. Once you put it in there, it's gone. It's going to be there until it gets filled. And all you can do is hope and pray that it goes into your direction at that point. So it's just best to, now one thing is, by having that trade in the queue right now that we just put in, we're already in the list. So now we have a limit order. So basically it's going to come in saying, okay, if it's going to trigger it, but it will fill at that, it should fill at that price. If it doesn't get that, if it can't fill your order at that price, then it probably will not it probably should not get filled. But that doesn't always happen sometimes. So let's see, we're looking at British New Zealand. This is a no trade. We can check this one out. It's a buy at 193.71. Put a template on. I can see right now it's too close to a zone. My template, that's what I'm looking for. Template, narrow template, open up. There's our template. We're coming into our 8 o'clock hour. It's kind of nice having that little line there. Is that way you know that you're okay? Now you're in the contra trend zone. And we just need to put a price in here, a line in here for the price. Actually, we could just do this here. This price there. There's a price here. And we have 93. So we have 20 pips between zones, but we're already at the zone. So there again, there's nothing to trade. And see what our direction is. It looks like we're in an up arrow. Should be up arrow.
Yeah,
Right.
Pepper. Yeah, that's what it's doing pretty much. It's holding its breath, waiting for the big announcement.
Yeah.
And it's just we're just gonna wait and see what happens.
Yeah. This is kind of fun. I mean, that's why it's just kind of fun. It's a one time of the month I give myself the opportunity to just kind of play a trade and just see what happens. And if I get good at it enough, well, maybe I'll start doing it for real. But I know people that they look forward to the non-farm payroll so they can trade their strategy with it. And there's some very successful people doing that, I'm sure. I just haven't done it enough to take the chance. Where you do it with a really small position and you take it with like a 0.01 lot size and then you're good.
Yeah, that's it's kind of the same position I'm at. I'm not successfully able to trade non-farm payroll at this point. I pretty much just avoid it.
Yeah, I just pretty much avoid it as well. There's so many other opportunities to trade strategies that have a proven track record. There's no reason to. I mean, it's okay sometimes to kind of let your hair down a little bit and just to give you just to do something a little bit different. But one thing you don't want to do is mess up your brain and start thinking like, oh, this is okay to start doing this or start doing that. You want to stay as disciplined as you possibly can because it's only going to all it's going to do is give you this false sense of accomplishment that, oh, I can do this. And your brain's going to say, yeah, I can do this. And your brain's just going to tease you because, like I said, your brain is I call it the BTE indicator, the between the ears indicator. It's one of the best ones to learn how to use. And it's just you're constantly training. Every time you take a trade, you're training your brain, and your brain is noting what you did and how you did it. If it worked, it's going to say, oh, that works, so I could do that the next time. And you may have just gotten lucky. And that's one of the worst things that can happen is to get lucky with the trade. Because your brain's going to think that it's normal. And if it's not, and that's why we try real hard to be very disciplined, to say we have our rules, it's been back tested, it's been proven. Now that doesn't mean sometimes the markets don't change, so we have to adjust those rules a little bit. That does happen, but that's where the developers come into play, and they're constantly monitoring their performance and their strategies, and either come up with some new strategies or they modify the rules, and you develop your own rules, you develop your own strategies, you see what works for you, and a lot of the ones with the alert systems and they're kind of they're more on the conservative side. And I mean, a lot, for instance, like with Gearbox, for example, you have aggressive settings, you have conservative settings, and they discuss those different things in those sessions. And that's why, as Matt said earlier, it's really important. I really like listening to Tyler's sessions about Gearbox because he gives some really good in-depth information. He answers a lot of questions. Desano on variable is just as good. He's always answers a lot of questions, and he makes a list of the ones that are really good, and he sees how he can apply them. I mean, you do help them out as well. So,
well, it's powerful, Al, because who gets exposure to these guys who have spent all this time, money, and energy into creating these amazing systems, and you get calls with them every week?
Yeah,
they could just as easily go out and say, okay, here's the system, here's how it works, this is the guidelines, and go. Not send out weekly updates about how they're running their software, what they're looking at. That's a tremendous amount of value, and I'm not overemphasizing that at all.
Yeah, and I will concur with that. I've traded the Forex for over 15 years, and I've bought lots of EAs and expert advisors that the developers would have, and but you buy them, you pay $100 a month, or you pay a couple, or sometimes you could buy them for an indicator that you could buy for $75 or $100 for a year or a lifetime, but you'll never get to talk to the developers. They get a system down, they optimize it to profitability, and they put it out on the market, and they say, here, this thing works, and look how great it is. But they never really monitor it. They never really do anything. They sell indicators, which is a lot different than what Auvoria Prime does. The Auvoria Prime vets the developers. They have the developers are required to give weekly sessions and where they can answer questions, talk to the people that are using it, and get feedback, and also give people ideas on how to use it. They actually have, this is all, and it's something like I've never seen before, and it does work. It is very powerful. So you really have something special here. And then I'm speaking strictly from my own personal experience over the last 15 years of trading foreign exchange.
So hey guys,
No other place like it. Yes, CB.
just a quick question about non-farm payroll report here that is going to be out in 18 minutes and 50 seconds. So we obviously know if this report comes in, on the positive side, it's going to strengthen the US dollar. If it comes out, below expectations as far as, number of jobs, then it's going to weaken the dollar. What does it do to the British pound? Matt, you're talking about how the thing jumped. Does the pound move with the dollar or against the dollar on these reports typically, or is it random?
That's for you, Matt.
Oh gosh. All right.
This is more just when we're about to
totally
see
honest.
what happens.
Let me be totally honest, okay? When it comes to non-farm payroll, I usually ignore it like the plague. I don't try to guess where it's gonna go, because what happens generally is it's gonna go 20 pips in one direction, it's gonna go 20 pips in the other, and maybe 100 in another direction. So like it moves very, very, very fast, or it can be a complete dud, which means that it has very little impact.
So if like the projections come in almost right on the dot as far as what people are forecasting, it's likely to have low impact. Where if there's like a surprise as far as number of jobs, growth in number of jobs, then you could see a big pop with most of the pairs, or just the US, Canadian, and pound pairs.
Yeah, honestly, it really hey,
come on, man, I'm putting you on the spot, buddy.
No, I know.
I'm glad you got this question, not me.
Well, I don't want to fumble around and try to make up stuff. That's not the way I am. I'll just be frankly honest. When it comes to non-farm payroll, it really depends.
Yeah.
It can be from my experience and what people have kind of poured into me from a trading perspective, is that news isn't gonna reverse the price. It's just gonna speed up whatever's gonna happen.
Right.
Because
go ahead. May I add a little something here, Matt? Is that
go.
When it comes to these different reports, like whether red folder, whatever, I really do not pay attention. And maybe I should, but I don't. Maybe I should pay attention, but I don't really pay attention to really what the report came out as far as what is above expectations or below expectations. It really doesn't matter, because by the time the report comes out, the answers are already in, and you'll start seeing, and you're actually going to start seeing some movement before the report ever comes out. And basically, it doesn't really matter what the report is or what the results are. There are certain reports that move the markets. It doesn't, and I've seen earnings reports with stocks where it says like the earnings comes out and it's way above expectations, and the stock tanks. Well, if it's way above expectations, why didn't it go up? Well, it's because all the money's already placed their trades, and they just drove it to whatever they wanted to drive. Doesn't matter whether it's a good report or a bad report. So I don't really pay much attention. Other fact, the only thing I care about is when is it coming out? When is it a report coming out that will move the market? I don't care what the report is. I do know that the non-farm payroll, which is at the first Friday after the first Monday of every month, is a mover and a shaker. Doesn't matter whether it's above expectations, below expectations. It really doesn't matter. It will oftentimes move, depending on what the report is, may move it more or less. but that doesn't mean it's not going to move it, and you're not going to know what direction to take it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what the report says.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
yeah. I avoided like the plague. So I'm not the most qualified to deal or answer with non-farm payroll. Whether the U.S. Is inversely correlated to the pound pairs, whether it's good news or bad news. I haven't researched it enough to be able to speak to that specifically.
And we have a euro yen alert in an up. It's an euro yen in an uptrend. So let's move our. This keeps popping up. Templates up. You're looking at an uptrend. We'll load the template. And we are in an uptrend.
Yes, we are.
Up arrow. There's our.
Excuse me,
There's
Al.
our arrow. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Stephen, as well as Pepper, would like to know basically how far after the non-farm payroll is announced does it take for the markets to stabilize? Minutes, hours, and when would you be willing to enter into a trade?
I like waiting 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes to 15-minute candles is, I think it's usually a pretty good, I think that's a fair time frame to wait for it to stabilize and then readjust your mind for which way to trade.
Agreed. But I'm probably not taking any trades today. At least not in, I might take some crypto trades later, but I'm not going to be doing anything in the Forex market for the rest of the day because I don't want to be stuck in any potential trades over the weekend either and get swap fees.
Yeah, that's another point to take. Especially if you're profitable for the week, just lock in your profits and start your weekend a little bit early. So now right here, what I'm looking at with this is we are in an uptrend. We have a down arrow. We probably have, let's see, we have some room. If we do we have room? We're in the contra trend zone. There's 22 pips, but remember, we got non-farm payroll coming out. This one might move a little bit with the euro yen. We could do the same thing again. We could, do we have time? We probably have time. 10 minutes, we should be able to get, let's put a trade in on this one here. We'll just play around. We'll see, this is a different pair. This is euro yen. The other one we had was CAD Swiss. So let's go ahead and put a buy order in down here and a sell order in up here. Again, I'm on demo. We're just playing around with seeing what happens. And maybe nothing. Maybe we'll see if there's any consistency to this. So we take a trade with a new order. And we are in an uptrend. So it may come in with we'll take a look set this thing up with a pending order. And we're going to buy limit at, let's say 128.93. And we're going to stop it at 128.53. And we're going to take profit at the blue line of, we'll say 129.29, call it. 129.29. And so we have our buy limit down here, our stop below it, and our take profits. Place the order. Voila. Here's the entry. Here's the target. And the stop is below. And let's do the same thing up above. Looking about 120. Let's say about 129.47. We'll do that. Trade. Pending new order. And we're going to do a pending order. And we're going to do a sell limit. And we're going to sell at around 129. Let's go 129.47. I like keeping it off of even numbers like the 5-0 or 5-5. I like keeping it into those little, it allows for some spread. It also allows for the institutions like playing with those whole numbers. I try not to play with them on that. Stop would be 129.87. And the target would be, again, back towards the middle, about 129.26. So we have our sell limit, and we're going to stop it at above it, and then we're going to take profit below it. I'm going to place the order. Okay, so we're all set. I may move this thing up just a little bit more. There you go. So we now have two trades pending for this non-farm payroll. We've got one on the euro yen, and we have one on the CAD Swiss. We still have 10 minutes before the report. And you're probably not gonna get a whole lot of alerts between now and the next 10 minutes because of this pending. And we could do a Euro US. The Euro US is a rather favorite pair for people to trade. Let's see what this one looks like. Let's see, this thing seems to be somewhat range bound. You see how flat it is. There's a 30 pip range on this. You can see it's been nothing's been going on all night long waiting for this report to come out. So let's do one with the Euro US. That's a favorite pair. That one actually might have a lot more volatility to it. So let's do another one here. And so we're going to go with, let's just take it right back in the middle of this zone.
Do you want to scrunch it out as using your terminology?
Well,
Make sure we're in a downtrend.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like we're doing a order on both sides of this thing. So, I mean, certainly it's in a downtrend. Yeah, it's in a downtrend. This is right now. Right now, it's going sideways. So yeah, there's really no reason to be even playing with that because it's going to do what it's going to do anyway.
Okay, no problem.
And so we're going to look at. So we have a 30 pip range. Now, one thing I think will probably happen is if it does go, it could all go all the way up here. I kind of like going up a little bit higher. Frankly, 30 pips is not a lot of big swing on this report normally. But let's just do the same method that we were looking at. We found support here, found support down here. It's in the middle. And we're just going to sell up here and we're going to buy down here. So let's do the trade in. New order. And we'll see which pair has the most volatility. This is a good way to check and see which pair has the most volatility to it. And we're going to go with a pending order. Buy limit of 1915, 1.19, 1.1915. And we're going to stop it at 1.18775. And we're going to take a profit of, let's say 119.60, 1.1960. And we'll buy, stop, target, place the order. And we're going to do it one more time. Trading. New order. Pending order. And we're going to sell the sell limit. And we're going to sell at 1960. 1.1960. And we're going to stop it at 1.20. And we're going to take profit at 1936. And I'm going to place the order. And you'll see what happens. This keeps our stop pretty much right now. If it comes up to the stop here, it's probably going to, if it's a real big move, it could come all the way up here and stop us out on this one. I may want to move the stop just a little bit higher. And move it, maybe my entry a little bit higher too.
No, Al, just to add a little bit about what you were talking about, I'm so of the opinion that it happens once a month, and it's not worth my energy to learn how to trade that once a month.
I agree with that. I'm just, basically, the reason for this little exercise today is just to show people the possibility of the volatility at that report. And the reason why I'm doing it I'm doing 3 different pairs to see which currency. This is a little bit of a test, actually. This is a little bit of a test to see what pairs seem to have the most effect on, or what currency may have the most effect on that report. So we're just doing a little bit of exploring here today on this one.
I like that, Al. I like how you, it's your lab anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. This is a laboratory test, is what this is. This is not a strategy. This is just to get some sort of a visual clue as far as what this report will do. And that's the whole purpose of this exercise today. We're not getting any alerts, so we may as well make some use of the time to use it as a learning session as far as what to expect and why we know. And it may be a complete dud. But if it's not, it's going to be, it could be interesting. And, so we're not trying to win or lose. We're trying to get markers of an event is what we're doing. Please do not be trading live money with this. Please, please, please don't do it. I say again, don't be trading this with live money. Any other quick questions that we see here? See, there's a bunch of chats in there. I'm not sure what the chats are. I can't pull up any of those other charts, so you'll have a big black spot on your screen here.
Yeah, just saying that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just saying that BTC is going up.
Yeah, actually, I did pull that chart up. We'll take a look at the British or the. I expected it was going to go up today. It's had such a big pullback. I'm looking at still around the 50,000 mark on the BTC, on the British, on the Bitcoin. Also, the other one, I was listening to an interview last night on Ethereum, and that's one that you probably want to pay attention to.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Ethereum is my favorite.
And I think it's going to be my favorite. Well, I've been pretty happy with it, but from I think this probably has more percentage upside potential from what this guy was saying.
Oh yeah.
Than even Bitcoin's already made the big moves. Ethereum hasn't quite made the same percentage moves, but it's got the baseline of as a crypto to do that. And no, you probably want to, if you're going to be playing with cryptos, you probably want to have some Ethereum in your portfolio. I guess that's the best way of putting that.
It's a good way to look at it.
Okay. It was just released.
Okay. Oh. Charles CV is our
news reporter.
Our news reporter. He probably understands this stuff better than I do. Or he understands better than I do.
US dollar is getting stronger. 379,000, which
Euro yen's melting.
And this thing hasn't, it's either my charts are frozen. Actually, I think my chart froze.
Yeah, Euro yen just dropped 20 pips, and you're definitely frozen now.
Oh, okay.
There you
Right
go.
now, I just got filled with my Euro yen,
The
Euro
NASDAQ.
US.
Holy cow.
What happened there? What happened on NAS? Went to the moon?
Oh my gosh, it zipped right down, came right back up, and now it's going all the way down again.
Yeah. See, that's the.
So I'm having like no movement here at all. Although I am
Yeah.
it did get me in the Euro US trade. I'm down 5 pips.
Holy
pound
cow.
US dumped.
Yeah.
Looks like the CAD Swiss did nothing from what I'm seeing, at least not yet.
S&P
Right.
melted too.
Do you want to share your charts there, Max? Mine seems to be frozen.
Let me go see if I can get my other my VPS open. I was just on Trading View, so
Do you have
Yeah,
yours?
okay.
Is yours working, Eva?
I'm frozen up.
You're
oh,
frozen too.
Like we're all frozen all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm frozen.
This is probably has to do with volume of. I'm not sure why. Let me see
It
something
just
else.
happened with this
with the
crazy
news.
happened. All of a sudden I froze up completely.
They are saying though that there's a big surprise, upside surprise is the actual is almost 2x what the consensus was for the number of
Oh,
new jobs.
surprise.
Yeah.
But
That's significant.
The dollar got strong, at least from what I'm seeing here, from what little I can see. My CAD Swiss trade, my CAD Swiss trade, it did enter in the CAD Swiss trade, or in the excuse me. Actually, it took. Let me see what it did here. It may have stopped me out on my. It did have a Euro US buy. It did trigger the buy on the Euro US, and now it's gone. So I'm not sure if it made the profit.
You got stopped out then.
I got stopped out then.
Probably.
Yeah, the Euro US would dump because the US they're saying is getting real. The greenback is really strong right now. You can see it in your chart there.
Oh, and that's why the indices dumped. They went to the dollar, so dollar would be going up then.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's Bitcoin doing?
Probably going up.
Dumping.
Oh, it dumped. Interesting.
Yep. All three of the major cryptos are dumping. They all got up. You know, it was almost a retracement to the Fib 79 level, and now, wow, I'm watching it.
I can't even get it.
Ethereum just dumped $25, and BTC just dropped close to $1,000. Well, $800, and it's still going down with this 1 5-minute candle right now. It's just dumping.
It looks like it's down 4%, and Ethereum's down 5%.
Yeah.
So now you see why Al and myself specifically, we don't trade non-farm payroll.
Well, it's funny.
Does that make sense?
I was wondering to myself, I wonder if non-farm payroll has any impact in crypto. And I think my question
I didn't think it would have such a big deal.
Wow.
Well, everything's
right.
Everything's tied to the dollar.
Yeah.
It is now, like, significantly.
Yeah, the dollar is strong, and it's the secondary currency of all those crypto pairs. So it's dumping just like a Forex pair would.
On my RSS, the US is the strongest on all my time frames right now.
Let me go to my charts here. Here's Bitcoin.
That's good to note. That's very good to note.
And actually, Bitcoin's coming.
Still dropping. Holy cow. Look at it go.
Let's see. Let me go. Actually, Bitcoin's coming right
Jackie
to a
would
trend
say
line.
people are getting rinsed.
People are coming right to the Bitcoin's coming right to a trend line.
Yep. The 50
on the 15-minute trend line on Bitcoin. It's coming right. You see my charts? You should see my charts.
I see that.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at mine. Yep.
Here's my Bitcoin, but it's coming. I just drew this up this morning. Here's the trend line. Came
Got
right
it.
down to the trend line. So this might be a buying opportunity actually for it. Let's go with the Euro US pair. Let me see what it actually did since I can't, since my charts are frozen.
Isn't that funny?
Oh,
Like
it's-
the VPS just crashed as soon as the news came out. For
Uh-huh.
many
Yeah,
of us.
that's weird, man. That's weird.
Yeah, you kind of wonder if it's not with volume of broker related type of thing. That's
You see what-
mine just locked right up.
If you go to the 5-minute for Bitcoin right now, it's working right back up to where it was prior to this announcement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is.
surprise.
But look at this bounce right here. I mean, this is the 5-minute candle. As I drew this morning before I even came in the session, and look where it tagged right to the pip. And looking at Bitcoin is right now it's down. Right now it's only down 1%. Ethereum's down 3%. Litecoin is up 2% right now.
Flip over to
Interesting.
Nasdaq when you have a moment, Al, and just check
What?
out that 5-minute candle
On the which one?
on Nasdaq.
Nasdaq.
Yeah, it's like $130 candle on the 5-minute.
US. Where is it? Where's our US? Where's my Nasdaq? Nasdaq.
I think you had to go down a little bit.
No,
I thought I saw you
that's
getting
no,
more.
that's I keep looking at that one, but that's not it. Excuse me. Oh, here it is.
There it
Yeah.
is at the bottom.
Do I have a feed for it? Is the question. See, I think I have a feed for that one. Let me try something else here. Forex. Let's try.
Yeah, Judson, I think for anyone who had their VPS crash, can you send me your usernames for AP? Just in the chat or in the Q&A section. I need to get these to Bill so that we can have some documentation.
Put mine in there too, Matt. Mine crashed
Yeah,
too.
mine as well.
Okay,
I'll send it to you, Matt.
thank you. So
Mine did not crash, Matt. It slowed down for a little bit, but I'm fine again
Okay.
now.
Do you not
Looking
have
for the-
Nasdaq on there? Check at the
Well,
bottom.
I could have sworn I did.
Oh,
Let me see.
Judson, can you like be a little creative?
There it is.
Well, let's try your US Tech 100. This might be it. Here we go.
Look at that candle.
In this.
This
Yours
is
is
5-minute
still dead.
candle. So
Yeah,
It looks
but
just like Bitcoin and Ethereum, by the way.
That's interesting.
lovely. That's a 120 pip candle.
I guess gold melted too during this report.
Let's see, gold. Actually, I think I have gold up here. No, I guess I don't. I thought I did.
yeah, I saw
I think
it.
it's everyone.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
anything attached to the US dollar, right? Any pair with US dollars, the secondary currency is going to drop.
yeah.
Yeah. Gold, but
No
Yeah.
gold recovered.
gold tank, and now it's recovering.
Yeah,
And
so
I'll bet
they're all doing that. Like you said, though, Al, I mean, we had this huge one candle burst, but things are already it feels like they're normalizing already.
yeah. Here's the Euro US. Here is the 830. This is basically the 5-minute. We're 5 minutes into it now, I guess. 10 minutes into it.
10 minutes, yeah.
So yeah, this was the open of the candle, came down. So right now we're working on our second 5-minute or third 5-minute period right now. This is the Euro US that we're looking at. So as you pointed out, is the how do you trade that? You know, it said it, and it was you know, and remember I said earlier that with the report, if you took a trade and you just did a market order, that sometimes it takes you like a minute and a half to before you even get your order filled. That's probably a lot of what we may have been experiencing. That could have been part of what we experienced with just all the volatility and all the orders that were being filled at that time. I think it locked up. It may not have just locked up our VPS, but I think it also kind of locked up the everybody's platforms, whether you're on the VPS or not, just by the sheer volume. And that
Yeah.
could have very well been what's happened on that one.
When I, just observing your screen there, Al, the way it froze on you there, that to me looked like a different kind of freeze up than, the VPN issues we've been experiencing on and off over the last few weeks.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that was more related to, like you're saying, just the sheer number of orders being filled.
Because even on my train view, when I switched to my train view, it was acting a little bit when I was trying to switch over on these different pairs. It was taking a little bit of time to. I mean, usually it just pops right up like boom, and then it was like it was taking 10, 15, 20 seconds before I was getting the feedback on it.
Yeah.
And that's just your market volume is what that is, and that happens. No matter when you're on no matter what trading system you're on and the faster your computer and the faster your millisecond ping feed is, it all helps. But if you have slow feeds, there's just that much volume just coming in. We can see how this thing, we had a nice little wedge right in here. Let me see if I can go to my drawing tools up here. We had a nice little, here's a high, here's a low. Here's a higher high, here's a higher low. I'm gonna move this thing over here a little bit to try and catch. Actually, let me try something a little different here. Let me try a different tool. I really like this little harmonic tool.
Well, Julian said that his old trading view indicators, that we used with the Eris are not working anymore.
Okay.
Are the new ones on
Yeah, I think they were turned off, I think is what's happened with that.
Okay.
I think they've been turned off. I'm working with the developers. I think we're going to just try and see if we can't get you directly with the developer and just see if we can't just make it available, whatever. I'm going to meet with Brian this afternoon about that very issue because we need to get that going here. And I talked to Anthony last week, and he's okay with no matter what Brian and I decide we want to do. So we're going to see if we can't make something happen here.
Mm-hmm.
We had that one, and we had this line right here, and this is where the break was. You can see where it broke. It broke this trend line. Now let's look up and see if and it broke this trend line. So this, I'm going to be curious to see if it comes up and retest. We have our A, B. I kind of put this all in one line right here. And see if it comes up and tests this. Came right up to that line. And it got back, it's backing off. So it's finding there's some buyers, some sellers coming in right in that point. So it broke this one. Let me make this a little bit heavier so you can see what I'm talking about from this A to here. This one down. So this is a trend line. This is the AC line. And then we had the other trend. That was the XBD line. Yeah, so anybody that's got TradingView and they want to try and get these indicators, just email me at trademasters@gmail.com and we'll get you on the list to make sure we'll let you know when when we can work this thing out. And here's two major trend lines. It broke. Now right now it's coming up into this little triangle right here. We'll see if this trend line, this one, if this holds. This is why, to answer your again, Pepper asked the question earlier about how long do you wait? As I like waiting 30 minutes for things to stabilize. Shakes everybody out and it says, okay, now we developed our new range. Now our new playground. Now we'll decide what we're going to do with it. Let's see if my charts are back up again running. This one, I think if you have another platform, if you get frozen up, you can always go to your other platform and hopefully still be able to stay in the game. But all these others, that's all the other, so I put 3 different trades in. It looks like neither one of the, so it looks like it was the Euro US that had the most, yeah, the Euro Yen didn't trigger. So we're going to take those off. Euro Yen, I'll take these off. All I can do is click on the X and they should go away. Get rid of that one. Click on the X, get rid of the Euro Yen. And I had the Swiss CAD. They didn't trigger either. So it looks like the Euro US was the main one, which doesn't really surprise me. And right now we're in a buy. Buy and sell. So the buy triggered. I didn't get stopped out. Actually, I thought I got stopped out because it wasn't there anymore, but it looks like it triggered and didn't get stopped out. Now my sell, the sell limit, I'm going to get rid of that one. And basically right now I'm up, it got into the trade. And right now I'm profitable, up $30. I'm up basically 9.5 pips. We have our moving averages coming down. Here's our arrow moving average. Here's our, and I'm just going to probably just, the event's over, so I'm just going to close that out and wait for the next alert. Questions here. I don't know why they're having these VPS issues.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be the issue with Gearbox. It doesn't seem to be the issue with Variable, from my experience.
Yeah.
Let me see what my Gearbox is doing here.
Have you had any trades on the Gearbox this week there, Al?
Yeah.
I haven't had a whole bunch. I've been having some problems there.
You know, it's interesting. I'm talking to different people with several different results. Let's see, here's my Gearbox results. Custom period. This is for the week. We'll see what I've got for the week here. I started out with a clean slate on Sunday. And here's Sunday, and just today, which is the weekend. And my Gearbox is closed out of $169 worth. These are the trades it took this week and closed out this week. And this is the open trades right now. So yeah, it's been taking trades all week. I don't know why there's such different. I know I compare mine with Brian's all the time, and his has been a lot more.
Excuse me.
There's been a lot of difference. We're running the same pairs, same strategies, but yeah, we're still getting different results, and I don't know the answer to why that is. Put that over to my arrow, and we have about another 10 minutes before our session is over here for the week. Now's a good time for any last minute questions, comments. We know there's some issues with the VPS with Arrow. I know they're working on it. I've talked to Bill several times, and I know Matt's talked to him, and they're trying to get feedback to find out where the problems are. There we go. Let's see. Any other last minute question? Let me see. Check my screen here.
This is just a comment from someone from Anonymous that says Amy's strategy is sniper with a 16 range, and she's between 10 and 14% per week.
Yeah, I'm aware of that one there.
Okay, Al, can you look at also someone would like you to look at the pound Aussie? Nothing specific, but they just want you to look at it. If you
The
could maybe give us a
pound
time frame.
Pound Aussie, pound Aussie. Let me just see.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get this thing up. Pound Aussie.
Yes.
15 minutes. I've got a 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, I guess so, because they also wrote not specific.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a arrow. Let's see. It's like this could be a uptrend. I'm looking at. It seems like. Yeah, we're in an uptrend. Template load. Move things over a little bit. Let's see, whatever the arrow was, it's already hit the target. That was on the report. 50 pips. That thing moved 50 pips on the news announcement. So I guess whatever it is that hit the target, if you're looking at that arrow on this one, here's a bounce, here's an arrow. Now this first arrow bounced off of this one to this was back in the, my chart's a little slow again. Yeah, it's locked up again. Oh, there it goes. A little better. So here was the bounce arrow. It was the entry. This was at about 3 o'clock this morning, it looks like. And it made 50 pips, made the target itself. The target would have been 20 pips, or the zone, that's 50 pips on that one. So it would have made it. It did take a little bit of heat in the process. It went down 26 pips. So you've taken about 26 pip. Your stop would have been down here at 40, back in the green zone. You've taken some heat, but you would have also gotten your target and then some if you went for the upper red zone. That's about all there is for that one. And can I still hear everybody? Test, test. I just make sure I haven't lost anybody.
Oh, you're fine, Al.
Yes.
You're fine. Everything's going great this morning.
I'm just wondering if I should. I wonder if I should switch earbuds. If I am going to switch earbuds, just because I think I lost the last 5 minutes yesterday.
That was funny yesterday, Al.
That was hilarious. We had a good laugh. Here.
That was belly laughs
Here we
for
go.
sure.
All right, now I'm going to last over here. I just made my switch here. Any other last minute questions before we sign off for the weekend? And,
I don't have any in my end, my side.
okay, so we have, let's take a look and see what, I'm curious to see what the Euro Aussie did over this whole thing here. Euro, actually, let me just go to the
Second column, last one.
second column, Euro, second column, last.
Bottom one. No, to the left, column left.
Other left. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
The other left.
Yes, the other left.
Yeah, it's still range bound here. This one's still range bound too. And just be patient with that one. So, okay, our non-farm payroll report is done for the month. And you can see why we don't like to trade it. I did get a target on that. I'd actually made a little bit on my demo with the Euro US pair. I think that's probably the most volatile pair. That and then your S&Ps, your indexes on the US indexes, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ.
And gold. And gold.
And gold. Crypto. Apparently crypto follows suit with that as well.
Which is interesting. It's a great observation. So that was a good learning opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's it's valuable.
It's amazing with crypto anyway. I'm looking at it literally after the 10-15 minutes. It's pretty much right exactly back where it was prior to the non-payroll report. So
yeah.
So that means people are actively trading this like any other commodity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
And it moves, and it's moving. And thing is, and what I think what it does, it gives the institutions a chance to really, as was said, rinse the traders. So you're better off and just stay out of it. It's just not worth it. Give it another 30 minutes or an hour. And being on a Friday, just kind of watch it, have fun with it, and then just go and start your weekend early.
I think it's further validation that crypto is the institutional adoption of crypto. You know, it's mirroring gold and the indices now, and I don't think that used to be the case. A year ago or so. So really,
well, I think you're seeing more and more. Crypto is getting to become more and more recognized and adopted. It certainly has been adopted by the institutions. When it first came out back because crypto's been out for quite a while, but even like the last 3 or 4 years, you start seeing brokers that would only take money via Bitcoin. You see brokers that wouldn't take wire transfers anymore. You see the major banks in the U.S. starting to say, well, I think maybe we'll start having trading cryptos. Well, when they start adopting that, it's because there's either a lot of demand for it, or they're starting to see that this is where things are going to be going. And like it or not, believe it or not, time will tell, but I think we're seeing the one person I was listening to last night he said this. I listened to him about 2 or 3 years ago on a news providing station. And he was saying that this was back when Bitcoin was right around, it pulled back from 20,000. And he was saying it was right around $5,000. This was back earlier this past year again. But 3 years ago, he said Bitcoin was going to reach $40,000. And everybody thought he was crazy. And 3 years later, it hit 50,000. So this information that he's giving, he's got some insight to where this thing's going. And that's all I can say is that I don't see this crypto thing going away anytime soon. And I think as you start seeing more and more printing of the US dollar, which is what they're doing right now in an unprecedented pace, you're going to see more and more of the gold being affected by it. Gold's always been affected by the dollar and the market. The market goes up, gold goes down. The market goes down, gold goes up. It's the flight. It used to be the Japanese yen used to be the flight to safety. And it maybe still is to a point, but I think right now you're looking at gold and the cryptos being that flight to safety. The cryptos are being recognized worldwide, and the U.S., the fact we are the reserve currency of the world, we're probably going to be the last country to really adopt the cryptos because we've always controlled the world's economic markets. But as you're seeing more and more that as we become less, people have less and less, or as people have more options, countries have more options to the US dollar, and the cryptos are filling that recognition that there's some value to it and people recognize it. And if people recognize it as valuable, it will have value until they stop doing it. So
Yep.
That's all I can say about cryptos. I think it's here to stay. I think it's going to be something to pay attention to, like it or not, believe it or not. It's here, just like the internet was several years ago. What's this internet thing? Oh, there's nothing to this internet thing. Well, tell me one person with a computer that doesn't link to the internet, if they can. So, end of
Agreed.
story, end of rant. And again, thanks everybody for being in the room today. I appreciate every one of you. Thanks for sticking with us. Hopefully you learned something about non-farm payroll reports. We did a nice little demonstration with it. And again, keep your powder dry, stay green, and above all, have a safe and prosperous week, safe and healthy weekend. See you
Thanks,
guys on
Al.
Monday.
All right, take care, everyone.
Take care, guys.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Have a great
Thanks,
weekend.
thanks CB, Christine, Eva,
Okay.
Matt, thanks everybody.
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
Thanks, Al. God bless.